thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
All right. Welcome to my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. My name is 12 Gauge, and I thought I'd get on this Sunday just to chill with you guys and continue talking about what I was talking about the other night. I have a message into Nina to see if she wants to come up on panel and continue discussing some of the stuff we're discussing the other day. She sent me a lot of stuff, and I thought I'd get on here and I would show it because there's a lot of good stuff on these images that she sent me. Um, so hopefully she reads her messages or she answers her phone. She could be asleep for all I know. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed the show the other night. You know, I'm just laughing a little bit at some of the stuff that I've heard today. It's funny to me. It's really funny how, you know, people people don't even know me. They don't even want to know me. They just get this perception of who 12 Gauge is, which is fine with me. But one thing I want to tell you, and this is for anybody that's listening right now, I haven't changed. I've been the same person since I started this channel. Just people can't handle a lot of consistency and a lot of discipline. And that's what I try to run my channel um, about. I've started from the very beginning talking about how I want people to come in here to chat and how I won't put up with disrespect or name calling because to me that is childish behavior. And whether you're in my chat or whether you're linked up on somebody else's chat, there'll be no room for it. Now, if you want to come have a conversation on what the chat is about, you're more than welcome to, but I won't put up with it because after all, this is my channel, not anybody else's. And, if people want to talk about me on other panels, that's fine. You don't know me, and I don't care to know you. So keep your ass out of here if you don't like it. And that's all I got to say about that. You know, I don't want to be friends. I don't want to be acquaintances with anybody new. I don't want to try to have common ground. You want to have conversations in the chat, you're more than welcome. More than welcome to come in here and interject with the subs and everybody in the chat. But just know that there are certain rules that are governed on this channel. And if you can't abide by them, then maybe this isn't a place for you. We don't act like children in here. We don't call names. We don't attack other people. And one of the reasons that I have such strict boundaries on this channel is because I have some people on this channel that come up on panels that they go in other chats and are attacked. They're made fun of, they're criticized, they're critiqued, they're all this and that and the other. So people think that because they go on these other channels and the creators don't set healthy boundaries over there, that they can come over here and disrespect them just like they do in other chats. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Like I said, this is my channel. And if you don't like how I run it and you want to go tattle on me on how I run my channel or you want to send emails or whatever, my email's on the channel link. You can email me directly or you can come up here directly and we'll talk about it. But honestly, I don't have anything to say to anybody about how I run my channel. You don't like it? Stay the fuck out. And that's all I got to say about that. Go whine to whoever you must. I haven't changed and I'll always be the same. And that's the end of that. And by the way, I don't have small hands. And that's all I got to say. So let's get on with the show. Let's get on with the show. Let's get on with the show. How's everybody doing on this Sunday? I don't I didn't mean to start the show with that bullshit. I really didn't. But sometimes things need to be addressed when people go on other panels and they talk all this mad shit about how tough they are and all this and that and the other. It doesn't matter. I don't have to I don't have to flex my chest with small man syndrome on some other people. You know what I'm saying? It's like small man syndrome. They get you every time, or they try to. It's like that little dog barking at the big dog, "Row, row, 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 I'm going to bite your ankles. I'm going to bite your ankles because I'm tough too. I'm tough too." No, you're not. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Cuff you, how are you doing? How's it going? I know I'm all right. Well, what the fuck's already happened? It's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's something that people are talking shit on another creator's channel. And, I'm one of those people that if you talk shit, I'm going to address it. So hopefully, you know, they heard it loud and clear. And I don't like being lied upon. I don't like people slandering my name, talking about what I did and what I said, and this is how it is, because I don't. No, that's bullshit. And you know it. So Nina gave me this screenshot the other day. And if you were in the chat, we were talking about that vehicle on the Linda Lane footage. And this is at 4:29:38. This vehicle supposedly um, was pulling out of Linda Lane. Okay. And yeah, you're right. I mean, I had to address it, and that's the end of it. That's all I'm going to say about it. You know what I mean? I don't shy away from conflict. I really don't. So Linda Lane at 4:30 or 4:28:38. Nina sent me this, and we're going over Linda Lane the other day, and the loud vehicle that we heard starting up was this, supposedly this Jeep Commander. I don't know if it is, but I want to play the audio on Linda Lane to see if this indeed could be the vehicle. It's going to be right up here, so y'all listen to the sound and see if you hear. I'm going to get a better shot because I don't like how you can't see you can't see that Linda Lane footage really good from the top. I'm going to see if Jeff has one. If he does, then we'll use his. I know he has he does difference mode, so so 428. 429. Why do all these people cut that part out? Let me use that daylight one that I was showing. Because that showed that vehicle in the daytime, and we saw that the other day. And the only reason I'm showing this is because I told Nina that I would show this stuff the other night, and we ran out of time because we're going like 4 hours deep on this stuff, and after a while it just gets, you gotta call it. So look up here at the very top once this turns into color. Okay, like right there. This is the vehicle that we're talking about. Okay. So also, once it turned into color, you could see somebody leaving that vehicle with something in their hands. And many have speculated that that was Murphy. Let me just go back to the video that we had the other night, because none of this is showing what I wanted to show. I'm sorry I'm not more prepared. I haven't played that song in a while to start my intro. I really haven't. And that used to be my intro song until people started. Um, let me. CJ, if you're watching this, I'm going to use your stuff. So I gave you credit the other day. I'm going to give you credit again. That way I can use that footage. Have y'all had a good Sunday so far? Usually I do like Serenity Sundays, but I haven't done that in a while. Okay, let's go ahead and start with this because this is going to give you the perception that I want you to see, especially that vehicle. Nina said she got permission to show this video, so I'm going to show it as well. So here we go. We're going down Linda Lane or Queen Road, And CJ's driving up here. And right now, these are the Queen Road apartments. And as you can see, all these vehicles are on the side of the dumpster area. This is 1112. These are vehicles on this side. So I think Nina said this was a year after the murders. So um, a year after the murders, CJ went to the 1 year anniversary and did this video footage. So what he was able to do, and what I'm trying to show you is after a year, these vehicles are still there. So if they had any kind of nefarious attribution to the crime, would they still be there a year after the murders? And that's what I'm trying to show is a year after the murders, this is when he did this. Would these vehicles still be here? I don't believe so. See, there's that Jeep right there. See it? You can see it right there. As I showed you the picture before, yeah, she is, Cuff. If she texts you back, tell her to come on panel. I'd like for her to explain all the stuff that she sent me. She's really good at digging. But my point that I'm trying to make is this vehicle right here, if it was involved in any way, shape, or form in the Idaho 4 murders or cover up or any kind of nefarious acts, would it still be here a year later? He's going to turn around and you're going to be able to see it in the other direction. So I ask you, chat, would that be logical to you? A year later, would that vehicle right here still be there? Because many people have said that this was the vehicle that backed up with the loud system in it and pulled off that night. And that looks like the same parking spot. So if this was there the night of the murders, this is a year later, and we looked. I wish I had a clear shot of that night when that car is pulling away. I wish these other two people were around, either Jeff or Nina, because they could find that for me. Because all these other footage that we have, it cuts that off. So I wonder why they cut that area off. But a year later, let's use our thinking caps here because we're all smart people and we're all analytical in certain senses. So tell me, a year later, would this vehicle still be there? If you were involved in a quadruple murder cover up, would you still be there? Would you still be parked in this spot, having the same vehicle? Let me go ahead and pull that down and show you the vehicle that Nina has sent me. I'm just trying to say that if this were the same vehicle, why would it still be there? See, here's some of the photos that Nina sent me, and I'm going to enhance them so that y'all can see it. Okay, there's the vehicle of the night that CJ did this video. So if you were involved in a quadruple crime, you know, yeah, thank you for that, PKC. I've been looking through the video and I think it is also. It was getting dark, so hard to tell with numerous stickers in the back window. So if this is the vehicle, why would it still be there a year later? Why would it be there a year later? It wouldn't, right? You wouldn't think that If you were involved in a quadruple homicide, you would still be in the same spot a year later. See, these are some pictures that Nina sent me, and they're still shots of that video I just showed you. I mean, that's a perfect shot right there. I want to see if I can find that Linda Lane video. Maybe Aquitas, that channel, has that video still up. But I want you to see this, because a year after the crime, this video or this vehicle is still there. So would it still be there a year later? Yeah, I need to move my Jeep. I mean, I want to, let me go ahead and stop sharing this and let me go to YouTube, see if I can get on that other channel to be able to show. I know they were the first person to leak the Linda Lane footage, so I wonder if they have a clear shot of what I'm trying to show. It said 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 3 to 4. They only have 3 to 4. There's 4 to 5 right here. So there would be 430, 429. See, but they're just cut off too. But let's see if you can hear the vehicle take off. Hold on, let me share this with you guys. Hey, Leslie and Billy, how you doing? And anybody else who just came into the chat, welcome. So let's look at this. It's right up here. This vehicle backs up right here and then takes off. I wonder if it already did. So he supposedly, I think it took off at 423. This is the vehicle that everybody was saying we could hear. There it is. There's the lights coming on. Somebody clicked it. They get in the vehicle. They back up. See, they shut the door. You can see those lights. Then they started up. $423.11. Somebody write that in the chat. It does look like that vehicle. Based on the silhouette, tell me what you think. Could this be the vehicle? Because when it lights up, you can kind of see the silhouette of the vehicle, and it is a slender type vehicle. It's not a wide vehicle. I want you to look for yourself. Tell me what you see. Because I don't want to tell you what I see. I want you to tell me what you see. See right there. Damn it. I missed it. Jeff said J? J and L? Okay. Let me see if that. Okay, right there. Let me get this stupid. And that would be the third parking spot. That would be the third parking spot, would it not? I don't see Farah. Where's she at? Oh, there she is. Okay. Thank you for that, Farah. So that is that green vehicle. So all those people that have been saying that that vehicle was supposedly involved in the crime, we know a little better. So what do y'all think? Do you think that this could be the vehicle that they were talking about that we see in the video? I mean, based on the parking location, here's 1, 2, and 3. This is the third parking spot, and the camera would be right here because this is the laundry room. So the camera would be over here in this kind of area where my pointer is. So a year later, this car is still parked there. Could it be coincidence? Could they have anything to do with it? Do you think that the police ignored going and trying to ask them any questions? You know, because many people had stated that this vehicle right here had something to do with the crime. They have, you know, they have stated that this vehicle right here had something to do with the crime. Not only putting the bodies in the vehicle, they've seen the dog in the vehicle and the reflections and all this stuff. I mean, I'm just telling you what some of the narratives have been. So, do you believe that this vehicle could be not involved in the criminal act? Let me play it again for you. 42311, we said. So, listen to it click. Okay? It clicks and then they start it up. Here we go. Well, if I change the screen, I always do that crap. I'm always ready and then I never change the screen. Here we go. You want to know what's wild? Supposedly Brian was taking off around that time, about 2 minutes before. What if this vehicle intersected him? Like, let's say they went left on Walenta and they managed to stop at the same time at the stop sign at the end of Ridge Road. Wouldn't that be wild if that vehicle could identify the Elantra? You get what I'm saying? That vehicle could have intersected with Brian down the road somewhere. There's so many freaking near misses. I mean, there is so many near misses You know, the DoorDash driver, we have this person leaving after the crime. I mean, there's the police a block over. There's all these freaking near misses. Here's another side view. Oh, she gave me a side view of the Elantra. Thank you so much, Cuff. Thank you so much. There's the side view of the Elantra that Nina gave me the other night. So this vehicle, if we're saying that a year later, when this video was done, this person was still there a year later. And I heard CJ talk about this person the other day on his live, and he was saying he wishes a lot of people would stop talking about this car because it is just a lady that is trying to um, do the best she can with what's going on, you know, in that area. That she just drives that car. Her and her boyfriend were students or something of the university, and people have just been interjecting her, and that's what I heard him say, is he wishes people would just leave her alone. So I guess I'm not trying to debunk anything. I'm just trying to put out there that, you know what, a year later, that vehicle that many people have assumed had something to do with this criminal act is still living there. That Jeep. I'm going to show you what it looks like because Nina gave me two good screenshots. And I'm giving her all the credit because she's the one that sent me all this stuff. You know? I wish she was around because I always like to talk with the people that do the research, you know what I mean? So they can have credit for their stuff because I didn't look this stuff up. Nina sent it to me. I'm not going to take credit for something that I didn't do. You know what I mean? So let's look at this again. A Jeep Commander 2006. So if you were to put stickers on the back of this vehicle, could it possibly resemble the vehicle that we saw or not? I mean, take a good look at this side because that's all that we really get to see. We get to see the back and we get to see the side. So I want to go look at that vehicle again in the video because that's all we really get. What do y'all think? Looks like a winner to you? Okay. So I want y'all to visualize that there's a sticker. Let me get back to it. God, I have so many windows open. I feel like PKC the other night. I remember her saying, I got 3 different windows open. So right here, visualize a sticker right here. And there's some stickers back here. I believe it is the vehicle because look at this hard. This isn't the vehicle. This is something that is, you know, they've. I guess this is at a dealership or somewhere else. This isn't the vehicle that's on the Linda Lane. Okay, so don't confuse this vehicle. It just happened to be the same light color. You know, obviously the wheels are different, I believe. So let me show you the video again. That way you can make up your mind yourself. Because that's the only way that people really are going to understand certain things if you allow them to make up their own mind. You can present it, but I'm never the one to say, okay, this is exactly what it is, okay? And CJ, if you're watching or somebody emailed you or whatever, you're more than welcome to come into my chat, come up on panel. I've never had you on panel, but I would welcome it if you'd like to come up. Don't have anything against you. Nothing at all. I don't even know you. So here we go. Here's TJ's rounding the corner. And that's what we see. There's one sticker, two sticker, three sticker, four, five stickers. So did it not look the same? The bumper area and the bottom ground effects. Like I said, he gets a better shot on the side view. Then I'm going to show you the screenshots as well. And you're saying 12, how is this relevant? It's relevant because many people have stated that this vehicle had something to do with the crime. Well, maybe it does have the same type wheels. So yeah, there's a dent right there. Good catch. Who said that? Stickers and a dent in the left bumper. Great catch. Great catch. I didn't catch that the first time or the second time. So that's a great catch. It does have a dent in the bumper. The wheels are different than the photos that I was showing you a little bit, but it is definitely the vehicle. See, it has the rivets on the wheel area right here. I wish I could zoom this in, but I can't. But let me see if let me go to her photos and we can zoom those in. Hope I'm not boring you with this because I think it's quite interesting. Because there's been so much stated on these vehicles and these people, and I hate when people interject individuals that have nothing to do, obviously, with the crime, as we know. Hopefully they don't, but hopefully they were investigated as well. So, yes, you can zoom this in. I hope you can see it a little better. You see the rivets on the bumper base right here? I mean, this ain't the bumper. This is the fender, and there's the dent, like you were saying. Yeah, identical lights, and it does look like a sports utility vehicle. Hey, Bullets, how you doing? Well, let's look at the next photo she sent. Okay, this one's a little clearer. You do see the rivets again. You kind of see the rack right here, the sport utility racks up here. I'm no expert, but this could be the vehicle. This could be identical with what we just saw. The 2006 Wagoneer. Tell me what y'all think. Could that be the vehicle? There's like 50 cattle outside my house right now. They're dropping them off for grazing. Oh, wow. Take a picture and email me. I'll show it. Take a lot of pictures of the cattle. I'll show it. Email me. My email's on my channel in the link area. Yeah, I think so. I think this vehicle has been cleared because I don't see that's the back area of it. And as it's taking off, like what I noticed when the lights came on is it was a slender vehicle like this. It was not a wide vehicle when it took off, like when it backed up all the way out. And you could see the slender vehicle with fog lights on, it looked like. It didn't look like a wide vehicle to me. It didn't look like somebody had said early on that they thought it was maybe a S250. Um, you just doxed me. Thanks, Leslie. Can you get rid of that? Just put the email address. Don't put my name. You put my whole name on there. Just put the email address. I'm sure people saw it anyways. But regardless. Um, let's look at one more photo. And Nina, yeah, those tires aren't that much different. Yeah, I believe this is the same type vehicle. I think we're clear on this one. So that's two of the vehicles that have been implicated in this criminal act. I don't believe that these two vehicles had anything to. Thank you, thank you. Um, I don't think these two vehicles have anything to do with the criminal act at all. I don't think they have anything to do with the criminal act at all. Let me show some pictures that I want to talk about that because I want your opinion on this. Not because I'm trying to be facetious or start crap or anything like that. I just want your opinion on this. Because people have their opinions and I want you to have your opinion as well. I'm gonna start with this one right here. You're fine, Leslie. Accidents happen. Accidents happen. I'm not upset with you. You're fine. I appreciate you putting that up there. You're being helpful. No big deal. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Um, you're 100% fine. Look at these two females. All right, they're both 5 foot something. All right, 5 foot and some change. Brian, as we know, was 6 foot, 185 pounds. And how do we know this? Because that's what his driver's license stated. 6 foot, 185 pounds. Let me see if I can get a diagram. I'm going to have my friend ChatGPT make me a diagram of 5'3" female next to a 6 foot male, 185 pounds. So I have a reason I'm doing this because I want you to see this. Because many people have stated different things, and I want people to visually see this representation. These two females right here are victims of the 1122 King Road murders. Are we in agreement with that? Do you know who these two people are? Can you type their names in the chat if you know who these people are? Just kind of interactive Sunday, okay? So please type their names if you know who they are. I love ChatGPT. It's not always 100%, but it's pretty accurate based on what you type. Y'all know who those people are? Maddie and Dana. Very true. So most of those females were within 5 foot something. There were no taller. Dylan was the tallest one. She would have been 5'10". So here we have a representation of a 5'3" female and a 6 foot male, 185 pounds. We know that Kaylee was within that range. We know Madison was a little taller than Kaylee, so she would have probably been 5'4", possibly 5'5". Petite, slim, and light, okay? Dana, we would say, would be about 5'3", 5'4". And as we know, Brian was 6 foot tall, 185 pounds. So you're telling me that a female this tall and this petite could overpower a 6 foot male, 185 pounds, with the K-bar knife? How is that possible? Can you explain that to me? Because I can't see it. I can't see it. Can you explain that to me? I'm having problems understanding that because I've heard multitudes of people talk about how these. Let me share that again. Y'all saw the chat GBT, right? Or were y'all still seeing Dana and Maddie? Well, here's the diagram if you didn't see it. Okay, 6 foot male was a runner and had kickboxing training. So look at this diagram. Not only is that individual taller, he's wider in stature. So when you have a 5'3" female, Xana was in what? Soccer? What was Xana? A gymnast? I'm trying to have all my mind saying the right stuff. Xana was a gymnast. Um, Dylan was in soccer. We didn't hear if Kaylee played any sports at all. Um, Maddie, I don't think played any sports either. So Xana and Dylan were the only athletes that I remember. So Xana would have been a little more athletic than the other two. I think people interject the fact that Kaylee was shown shooting a gun with her father and how her father had stated he had taught her a lot of different things regarding how to defend herself. So I believe that that's where the connection of, well, they would have been able to overtake this 6 foot tall, 185-pound male. In my opinion, BK planned to use something to muzzle Maddie, pick her up, and take her to the second location, Wawa Park. His plan was ruined, so he waited. He went totally wild. Farrah, that is, I had the same theory. I really did. And if you go and watch some of my older videos, I believe that as well. Yeah, then I had her gymnast coach that was interviewed on many YouTube shows in the beginning, Todd. So you tell me how this 5'3" female without a weapon, without any means to protect herself, is able to take on the 6 foot guy, 185 pounds, and win that battle. Y'all tell me that because I'm having trouble seeing it. Now, if you can tell me how that's possible, then I can possibly meet you halfway. But at this point, I really can't. I really can't. Can y'all show me that? Now, I'm gonna put something else up here. I'm gonna put six. Hold on. 8 foot male. Jesus. 6 foot male versus 6'4" male comparison chart. And Xana was drunk. An uncoordinated fighter, perhaps? Well, I'm just asking. I mean, if y'all can show it, make it make sense to me how one of these females could overcome somebody with a knife. And they were little like that. I mean, anything's possible, but there was no DNA under their nails. There was no DNA on them that we know of. So, how is that possible? How is that possible? If it is possible in your mind, I'm not trying to change your mind, but I'm just asking, how is that possible? So here we have a representation, and once it loads, I'm going to show it in a bigger window. So there we have a 6'4", which is Ethan, and a 6 foot Brian. So still, Ethan is taller, but can you put in your mind what could have been some of the reasons that Ethan could and didn't fight back? How was he not able to defend Xana? put in the chat what you believe this outcome was due to. What were some of the reasons that the 6'4" guy wasn't able to overcome the 6 foot guy, 185? Because as you see in that diagram, 6'4" is way taller than 6 foot. And I'm showing you this for the ability for you to see this based on the actual differentiation versus me just talking about it and you visualizing it. You know what I mean? Because we can all visualize it, but we're still ways off because I don't know about you, but I'm terrible at weight, height, distance, all that when it comes to, judging somebody by height or weight, where he was initially stabbed, drunk, asleep, surprised, where he was initially stabbed, disabled him. Any other theories why this 6'4" male, in many people's opinions, was not able or was not capable of defending the 5'3" Xana Kernodle? Ethan may have seen the knife and stepped back, and BK plunged or slashed him. Also, if BK was running towards, he used that as a power leverage, full force frontal. According to Dateline, the last stab hit a vein, and they didn't say where. Hey, Walt. Those are good thoughts. I like that. Not to sound crude, but could Xana and Ethan have been intimate that night, and maybe that's the reason he's sleeping so hard? Geez, I didn't even mean to the pun with her. You're not being crude. Most people would believe that after a night out, you would be able to consume in that capacity. Most people are going to say, "Well, yeah, they were out. They were boyfriend and girlfriend. Hell, you go after a night out, you're going to get it on. Most people are. Got to step away for a few and check back. I think these put size in perspective as well." Hey, Texas. He was asleep. Simple fact. Passed out and was sliced in the neck or the chest. I don't think Ethan had time to scream. Just one scream would have been heard by the surviving roommates. You don't know my wife, 12 gauge? I don't know your wife. Okay, so after a night out, 19, 20-year-olds, you remember back in the day, we were like rabbits, We would get home, especially we've been drinking, your inhibition get down a little bit. I'm not trying to make light of anything, but chances are they were intimate and he passed out. I would go with that. BK went straight for Ethan's throat. He didn't want anyone to be able to scream. And that's what we've learned in this true crime community, is that most of the men are taken out very quickly by individuals that want to hurt the females, to have a little more time with them. So that's what we've learned. Jeff H., I agree about Ethan. I think he took him out quickly. Exactly. I think we're all in agreement with that. So let me do a diagram here because we got to be fair. 5'10" female versus 6. So this is Dylan size. I would say she's between 5'9" and 5'10". Easy. She could be a little shorter, but I believe she's around that size. Yeah, I had heard that too. They got him in an artery, carotid artery or whatever. Yeah, I had heard that. So let's let this load up and then we'll go with that. Dylan is 5'10". Okay, thank you. I did put 5'10" in there. So 5'10" female versus a 6 foot male. That's still 2 inches. So for people to say that Dylan was the same size as Brian. Look at this. I don't believe people really understand what it's like to see people side by side because there is a huge difference there. He's still big enough to overpower her. Look at that. What do y'all think about that visual? So if it's likely two young people are like rabbits, like you said, and getting it on, makes you wonder what a guy that can't get any sex and is holding a keyboard knife is capable of. Right. So what do y'all think about that side differential? Because many people I have heard dealing with just the same size as Brian. Look at this differentiation. What do y'all think about that size difference? She was not the same size as Brian. Even if we're looking at them side by side, she is not the same size. Are not proportionate. If Dylan's only 2 inches smaller, she should at least pass his ears. Well, she does pass his ears a little bit. But it's close enough. At least we get to see, you know, based on perspective, not okay, he was 5'8" and everybody else was 4'3". You know what I mean? Also, when you take into account muscle mass and strength, it isn't about the size. You're right. And he's still stronger. Overpowering. Yeah, welcome, Tom. The visual is wrong, 12 gauge. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Well, I don't know how else to show a visualization of a 5'10" person versus a 6 foot. This is the best I can do. I mean, so let's just say that she does come up to at least the ears where this line is. So she's a little taller than this. So at least right there to the ears, as Tom says. So that's still smaller. That's still smaller. And I'm sure 5'3" is not much smaller, not much taller than 6 inches shorter than this. So I get you, Tom. I get you. I appreciate that. But in comparison, she is still not a giant or equal of size to him. I don't believe. I would prefer that my child have been taken out quickly than have known the horror of seeing my friend's path and then fighting with him for their life. BK cannot get gratification without his fantasy being exactly as he wants it. He wants BSM to feel powerful. He can't just go at it with someone he won't get gratification. Very true. I agree. You don't want your kid to suffer. I appreciate that, Tom. I'm open to correction. 12 gauge. I heard that his dad and him had not planned that trip home. I heard, don't know, and you heard that they have him on video at the house, but it's under seal. No, I didn't say anything about hearing him at the house. No, I've never said that. I've never said that they heard Brian at the house. So I use that as a comparison, even though it's not identical. Hey Jeff, do you have the picture of the four or the roommates standing side by side on the patio? If you do, could you email that to me? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I've never heard that they heard Brian on the in the house. That's wild if they did. I mean, but I've never heard that before. My point is just trying to show people that these individuals, as many of them had said, Kaylee was stronger and she was a Gonsalves and this, that, and the other. She would have been able to take out anybody. We don't know that. We don't know that for a fact. We don't. I mean, I'm almost 6 foot tall, and I can tell you that a 5'3" female especially if I had a weapon. There'd be no way that they could take me out unless they ambushed me. And he was ambushing them. So he had that element of surprise on them that they that's the whole thing is the individual met them with the element of surprise. And anytime you meet somebody with an element of surprise, you're automatically taken off guard. You don't have the capability to react as quickly as somebody who's initializing the attack. It's kind of like when you play sports. If somebody's on offense, they have the capability, like the wide receiver in the football team. He knows where he's going. The defensive back does not know. So therefore, um, okay, thank you, PKC. I'll go look. So the defensive back has to adjust to what he assumes the wide receiver is going to do. Oh wow, Leslie, I will show that here in a second. Okay, I'll show this PKC. Thank you for that. Hey, you two bad actors. Thank you for being in here. Yeah, I mean it's something that you want to believe that your children are capable of fighting somebody with a weapon. I mean, I would want to know that my loved one went down um, fighting. We all would. But in reality, we have to be real to know that these individuals could not possibly have done that. PKC sent me this, and this is a screenshot of a video that she took, and this is the green Wagoneer that we were just talking about. So it's as you can see a little bit more. You can see the stickers on it. But I believe that we're all in unison that that was the Wagoneer of 2006. Oh, this is the Wagoneer. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong freaking one. Here's the one with all the stickers. I'm not showing you the wrong one. This is the one that has the stickers on it. And I think we're all in unison that that's the vehicle that we see in the video. Yeah, I heard about that. I addressed that, Walt. Thank you for saying that. I hope that, people know that I didn't do what he was accusing me of. I addressed that. So he can talk. That's all he seems to be able to do is just talk. But thank you for that. I appreciate that heads up. Um so this is the Wagoneer that we've been looking at in that video of CJ's and what I was showing you earlier. And this is a great shot of the stickers on the back of the vehicle that we saw. And this is the Wagoneer shining area. As you can see, it's a compact SUV, and you can see the rack up here. So and the bumper protector. Oh, I keep calling that a bumper. That is a side panel protector. So yeah, thank you so much for that, PKC. And if you guys send me stuff, I will show it. I will not show other creators stuff unless they have permission, unless they give me permission. Just like I don't really appreciate other creators being dropped in here unless they come in here and, hang out with us and talk with us. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some creators like YouTube, Bad Actors. She comes in here and talks with us. So there'd be no reason I would never show any of her stuff or even give her credit. So look at these mountains that Leslie just sent me. I know this is a little bit off topic, but this is what Leslie sees outside of her residence. I think we might have to go visit you, Leslie. Is that water? Wow. That's an amazing shot. That is an amazing shot. Thank you for that, Leslie. I think that's awesome. Mountain Mama says, these kids have been partying. They had partied and were what they thought was their safe space. Exactly. So their defenses were down. They're relaxed and sleepy. They gave Brian a big advantage. Exactly. Exactly. You know, when somebody is ambushed, you do have that advantage. And Tom has talked about that in some other lives. I would send the entire video, but don't know how. I tried and keeps. That's fine. That's fine. That was great. That was great what you sent us because that kind of gives another view of what that looked like. I think all of them were murdered within 5 to 6 minutes. I think you've said that before, and I agree with you. I agree. That water would be make you thirsty. Yeah, that is a beautiful shot, Leslie. Yeah, we agree that it wasn't long that they were taken out. So we're in agreement that that vehicle, that green vehicle that was there a year later, could not have possibly been involved in the murders. Otherwise, that vehicle would not be there a year later. Are we in agreement with that? And are we in agreement? CJ said that he knows the individual who drives that green Elantra, and it is a female that he's spoken to that says, he says she's not involved, so leave her alone. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. You know, plus the knife is huge. It really incapacitated them quickly. Right. Thank you so much. You're invited anytime. That would be awesome. I think I would take you up on that offer. I like mountains and stuff like that. I would show you something about a K bar because there's been people on the Facebook page that have shown the K bar in comparison to um, a small female. Yes, that's the one. That's the one, Jeff. Thank you. Compared to a small female, um, and I can't show it because I know that YouTube will flag me for it. But as you can tell, I'm about to show you these females in this side view. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but a K-bar knife that we're talking about is usually 7 inches long, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to show you these side views of these females, and it's not appropriate. I mean, uh, proportionate. God, sometimes I can't talk. Mostly all the time, but at least right now. It's not proportionate, but take a look at 7 inches and then gauge it through these women's bodies. And you tell me that that knife did not penetrate deeply. And I'm not trying to be morbid here, but look at how small these women really were. As we've seen, Dylan was 5'10", so she's 5'10". It looks like Bethany, unless she's wearing tall shoes or whatever, Bethany is the next tallest. These three are almost identical size, which would be 5'3" or 5'4". I don't exactly know how tall Kaylee was, or Maddie, or Xana. If you know that, type that in the chat, okay? Probably Ethan 212. It's longer than the width of a thigh of these girls. Yeah. So, you know, this picture right here, okay. Tom says 7 inches was the Marine standard that we had. All right. And Rondi says 5'3". Okay, so if Xana, Kaylee, and Maddie were 5'3". Okay, I'll show that in a minute. Thank you, Jeff. Um, Xana, Kaylee, and Maddie were 5'3". Then we've seen a 6 foot tall next to the 5'3", even though it wasn't very proportionate. He's still taller than Dylan. Look how much taller Dylan is compared to them. And she's 5'10", and he's 2 inches taller than Dylan. So that would really put him towering over these three girls. So even if they were strong, even if they were athletic, if two of them were not taking him on at once, or if Xana and Ethan were not taking him on at once, I don't believe that there's any way that they could have beat him in a one-on-one fight. Any of you in the chat agree or disagree with that? If you disagree, let me know because I'm open to that. But I want to know how your viewpoint point to that. How could Brian, if he is the one, have been overtaken by any of these females who were caught off guard and ambushed? Because we know that Maddie was pretty much more than likely sleeping. Hey Kim, we know pretty much that Maddie was pretty much sleeping. We know that Kaylee was probably sleeping as well. If she was awake, the fear of seeing somebody in the room dressed all in black in a balaclava with a knife, do you think that she instantly would have got up and started fighting? These are not professional individuals that are trained to defend themselves against a knife yielding person. Or hell, even if he had a gun, do you think that anybody who hasn't been trained knows what the hell to do, how to defend themselves, or even rush toward the line of fire? Or do you think that they would be frozen trying to figure out, or even talking to the person or begging for their lives? Tell me what you think, honestly. Don't go with what I just said. Tell me what you think because that's how we roll in here. The best would be defense and run away, the best scenario for you. Tom says Maddie and Kaylee in bed would have no advantage whatsoever. I just searched K-Bar website. It appears they only make USMC stamped knife sheets for the 5 14-inch K-Bar knives and their 7-inch K-Bar knives. Okay. In this situation, not possible to empower. No, not at all. Because many people want to believe that they would have had the ability to overpower this individual with a knife. This individual who caught them off guard. Let me take it right here for you. You're watching your best friend getting stabbed next to you, and you wake up seeing this. Are you instantly going to start fighting this man who is stabbing your best friend, or are you going to be in shock? Are you going to be thinking, am I seeing what I'm really seeing? Is that a real knife? Is he really hurting her like that? Why is she not screaming? You get what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to compartmentalize your thoughts here. Am I really seeing what I think I'm seeing? Even if they had the chance to run, how far would they get? He could run faster and catch them before they get anywhere and wake someone up to open a door. I'd like to think that, yeah. Disorientating. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is I'm not trying to go after anybody else's thoughts or beliefs on this because everybody is entitled to their opinion. They really are. I'm just trying to show you my thoughts on this because this is my channel and I'm doing a live on it. So therefore, if people don't agree with it, that's fine. I'm just trying to show you that these individuals right here, this one, and this one. Damn it. So even against Dylan's still taller than them, still broader than them. They're little, petite, petite. I use one in the Marines and the tips don't break off. Okay. Bruce Lee was 5'3" tall, 140 pounds. All these girls beside Dylan were similar and lighter than Bruce. Bruce could have taken down BK, but these girls were just too tiny. Exactly. And Bruce Lee was trained multiple years how to fight, how to take down an assailant with a knife, how to take down an assailant if they had nunchucks or whatever. People are assuming that these females that were murdered viciously in this home, Kaylee, Maddie, Dana, were somehow or another able to take down a knife yielding individual. So I'm going to ask the obvious question because it's right here in the top of my brain. If they were able to do so, would they not have done so? I've seen demos with K-bars chopping pieces of wood and staying sharp. Yeah, that's my question to you. If they were not able to, if they were able to, and they were able to be that person that many people say that they were, would they not have done it? We're talking in scenarios where they would have been able to do this, they would have been able to do that, but they didn't. They didn't. That's the bottom line. If they didn't, they were murdered by a person with a K bar, dressed all in black, according to the documents. So the fact that you call these women female dogs is disheartening to their memories. All of them. Kaylee, Maddie, and Dana. Don't ever forget their names. Dana did fight, supposedly, but she wasn't able to overcome him, and she got taken out too. We focus so much on what they did or what they could have done instead of what actually happened is they were brutally murdered at the hand of someone who didn't give a shit about their lives in the middle of the night. So that should be the point. That should be the focal point. Not whether they should have fought, they could have fought, they would have been able to overcome. They didn't. They didn't. Bone is stronger, which is why we're trained to go after soft tissue. Plus, you don't get tired of doing it. You're right. She fought. If any of us get hit with a weapon like that, not one of us could do a thing. Good point, Texas. Dana had fingers almost amputated from fighting back. Yes, fingers were almost severed off because she was trying to grab the blade. If any of these females were trained in some sort of defense training and weren't inebriated, they might have found a chance. Another creator is now saying it wasn't a K-bar, shaking my head in disbelief. Just grabbing a K-bar once would cut to the bone, so we really don't know how much and for how long. Yes, that is the word. Sent you a link to a K-bar destruction test on YouTube. Did it have any noise to it? Did it have any sound? Like music or anything? Get this, guys. Remember the other night in the live when I was looking at that Facebook page and I accidentally clicked on the one with the eggs? They had those spatulas and they were cooking those eggs. I got copyrighted for that, even though there was no sound. I got copyrighted. I had to I had to delete that from the live because they copyrighted me for showing the eggs cooking on that skillet. I don't know if y'all remember that, but um, that happened the other night when I did that long live. Let me go ahead and go back to what Jeff emailed me. Okay, I'm gonna play it without sound, Jeff, if that's okay. I'm so freaking paranoid. 2 weeks is a long time to go without your channel. and I don't want to go a day without it. You know what I mean? So let's look at this video. I think so. I think so, Texas. I think so. I mean, this guy is going through that plastic like it's nothing. And if you have ever tried to use that plastic container in any other variation, it is hard to puncture that. Obviously, this K bar can go through a lot of different material very fast. YouTube has gotten out of control with the strikes. I think they must use AI software. It has a lot of bugs. You need to make a second channel as a backup. Yeah, I have a second channel. It's called YouTube. Um, no, not YouTube. It's called 12 Gauge. What the heck is it called? 12 Gauge True Crime Experience. That's what it's called. Look at this guy cutting these things with a K bar, slashing them. Granted, it's plastic, but look how easy that's going through that plastic. And skin is denser than plastic. Could one of the mods please put my second channel in the chat, please? I mean, he's striking this stuff like it's nothing. I mean, can you imagine if that was your arm and he sliced it like that? Now look at this wood. Yeah, plastic is tougher than skin. And definitely wood is tougher than skin. And look how easy it's just chopping through that wood. Thank you, JB. It is just chopping through that wood like it's nothing. That tip is not breaking off at all. And like Tom said, if it hit the bone, the capability of it breaking off would be very, very difficult because it's built for that. That lets you know how much damage that knife could do to a human in a short period of time. And you know, I kind of went against Jeff a little bit, and I've since recanted to him, and I know he showed me. But you see how he's holding that knife right there by the handle? That could be a leverage point to use to be punching somebody. Now, using that end as a hammer, as he says, you know, that could be a possibility. But I was always thinking he would use it like that for leverage point, kind of like a handful of quarters or something, to be punching somebody because we do know, according to the father, that Kaylee had wounds that didn't match Maddie's, and those wounds were probably done by the facial damage that she received. So, and he also said that those facial injuries were so severe that that would have killed her whether she was stabbed or not. So that's hard to think about right there. I mean, look at that. See if it's stuck in bone right there, it still didn't break the tip. Do you see how hard he had to get that out of there? Heard in the chat it didn't make sense a K-Bar would do that to her, jackass. Thank you, Rondi. Look at that. I mean, you use that with your hand put across the handle. You could be punching somebody in the face with that, just like you were holding a handful of quarters wrapped together. It would do that kind of damage. People who do this kind of crime are so narcissistic to believe they have a right to take the lives of other people. Wow, doesn't even break the tip. No, it doesn't. Thank you for this video, Jeff. It's a lot more informative than the ones I've shown in the past. Thank you for that. Didn't even bend the knife. Didn't even bend it. That was on a 2x4, and this is a little thicker. Look at that. Still didn't break the tip. So this kind of debunks, even if we're not trying to, debunks a lot of people's theory that this K-bar would have broke, that this K-bar would have bent, that this K-bar would have not been able to do what it did. YouTube bad actors right to think they'll get away with it. Yeah. And they think they'll get away with it. Look at that. That is unnerving to see. Well, one thing about this channel, like I said the other night, you grow up quick. You grow up quick in this channel. We don't hide anything from people. We don't try to protect you from things on true crime because true crime is not a pretty sight. It is not something that is made for the saint of heart. And we report it to try to give the facts as clearly as we can without getting striked for showing too much. Look at how he's bending that. And it's still not breaking. It didn't bend the knife. Look at that. It barely bent it. Let's see what he's saying.
Now the flex. Ah. Right. It doesn't look too good. Shit.
Okay, let me pause this. Let me go back to the picture to show you the girls. So you've seen what that can do. Now you tell me that those girls, as tiny as they are, would have had a chance against that K-bar. You tell me that those women could have beat anybody with a K-bar knife, even if he wasn't 6 foot tall. A man with the opportunity and a desire. And Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't take a strong man to hurt anybody with a knife. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Dylan's taller and she's a beanpole. Yeah. You know, that's why I like to show this stuff on my channel. Because in no way am I throwing shade at other creators or other channels. They can think what they want. Like I said, this is my channel. I show and talk the way I feel. And the way I feel is that K-bar, as the dad was saying, and as the coroner was saying, let me get back to the K-bar. She was saying that there were tears and what looked like gouges. Well, wouldn't that make sense? Because look what it's done to this wood. If that was skin, would it not be tearing the skin away? Look, he bent it back.
Repent it a bit.
Thank you for that, Tom.
Okay, stand up straight again. Right. Okay, the knife was bent. I bended it back a little bit. The edge is still fine.
Look at that. So you're telling me if you were trying to defend yourself against this person slashing like that, look what it did to that wood. You're telling me that you would be able to stop that knife? Just looking at what that knife is doing to that wood, those poor girls would have never had a chance. And that's what I've been trying to show all along. But people don't want to see that. They want to see an imaginary thing where it wasn't that brutal. It was that brutal. I think the people that are denying the likelihood that BK did this alone are just playing an anti-LE and pro-defense. I agree. Gouges can come from moving forward and back, him stabbing. In the same chat, it was said the knife would have broken again. Jackass. YouTube are criminals themselves. Yeah. Thank you for that, PKC. YouTube bad actors, I agree. Anti-establishment, anti-law enforcement. Look what it did to that wood. And they constantly say that. I've been hearing that forever, since the crime started. That knife would have broke. There's no way that knife is that tough. There's no way that knife is that strong. It would have bent. The tip would have broke off. This and that and the other. Well, look at this. That knife ain't breaking. And he's going through a lot of things. There's no way it could have been a K-bar.
The tip is still fine. Knife is bent. Ah, this one.
So he cut himself.
This hurts.
He hurt himself with the...
No, fuck this.
Wow. This is metal. Just bending the shit out of it. So once again, imagine that going into a body. Look what it's doing to this metal object. It is bending it. And this is giving some resistance. So think about this going into a body There's no resistance like this metal. None. It's tearing through muscle, flesh, soft tissue, bone. These girls endured this on November 13th, 2022. They were murdered. They were brutally murdered by an individual using a knife like this without the capability of defending themselves one way or the other because they were ambushed. This wasn't a fantasy. This wasn't a dream. This was reality.
Tip is still intact. Yes.
Those are the K-bar steps.
Look at that.
Pretty impressive. It's a very thick metal plate.
Okay. The tip is still fine after the metal. It's not dull, nothing. Let's see what the prick can do. Still there.
You know, Envision, you're right. We do need to mourn these lost. Yes, that's concrete. We do need to mourn these 4 victims of this vicious murder. They were murdered. Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana. It wasn't an imaginary fight. It wasn't more than one person. Look at this one person, all the damage he's doing with a K-bar knife. One person. And this knife has done this much damage. You know what I mean? This much damage. Everybody in the chat right now, I hope you understand. One person, one determined person, and the fantasy and the desire can do this much damage. All these fantasies that these other creators have about there was more than one perpetrator, there was all these individuals that it took to be able to take these people out in a limited amount of time. There was so many other weapons used. Do you see what this man is doing with this knife? Do you see what this man is doing with this knife? And he's beating on concrete right now, and it's still not breaking or bending. Hey, Nina.
Oh. It's still amazing. Nothing. Nothing.
Okay, and he's been going at this for 12 minutes and 55 seconds, Shaw. 12 minutes and 55 seconds, and look at all the stuff he went through in 12 minutes and 55 seconds. You can see that on the video. 12 minutes and 55 seconds. So those people that say that there's no way that this happened in a short amount of time, look at how long we've been watching this and look at all the damage he's done. All the damage he done in 12 minutes and 55 seconds. Yeah, it does look beyond strong. Hey, Firefly. There it is at the bottom, 12 minutes and 55 seconds. This whole video is 18 minutes and 38 seconds. So he's been doing this for 12 minutes and 55 seconds, broken through concrete, cut through wood, cut through planks, dug out planks, cut through plastic, all this stuff. But there's no way that that could have happened. Yeah, he hurt himself and the knife is still fine. See, he's using the serrated edge right now. It finally broke. It finally broke at 14 minutes and 4 seconds. And that's going through concrete, wood, plastic, everything. In 14 minutes and 4 seconds. So could that have been a coincidence that he left at 15 minutes after? Could he have broken the knife in some sort of fashion? So much for the tip breaking off inside someone.
Okay. This was like an explosion. Okay, let's see if it's full time.
Good point.
Okay.
Sure, we're at 16 minutes and 4 seconds. And that knife's still pretty much intact, other than the blade.
Okay.
That's the Ka-Bar US Army knife. It's the original one. It's not a fake. It's the 1219 CP. 1219 CP. It's not full time. It's just those tiny bit of metal goes inside the handle. And this is why I could bend it so much. Now I'm very surprised that it didn't broke much earlier because of the bending. So it goes all down back to this pommel. Yeah. So the edge is not too bad. I didn't abuse it so much because it broke too early at the brick. But the tip is amazing. I think it's like an indestructible tip. I whacked it against everything I had, and the tip is still straight. It's a little bit dull, but it's still there. So that's amazing because it's a thinner tip and it's still there. So that's pretty impressive. But then on the whacking on the brick, it broke too early and it broke in many pieces. Those are two of them. So yeah, it's flexible. The metal, that it's a Krovan steel. It's 1095 Krovan. 1095 Krovan. It's
So we'll stop sharing that. That was an amazing demonstration. Thank you for that, Jeff. And one other thing that I want to show before I sign off is many people have said that Brian had small hands. You definitely research what knife to get. Exactly. Look at this photo. Once again, I want you to tell me. I don't want to tell you. Look at this photo. Does this look like small hands to you? Because I've heard this time and time again. Brian had small hands. Do those look like small hands to you? Give me your thoughts in the chat, please. Do those look like small hands to you? His hands don't look small at all. No. Because I've heard this from a long time ago, and I've heard this countless times. I'm going to show you that other picture, that famous picture that of him in the bathroom. We really can't tell a lot, but those hands of him in the bathroom, his hands look skinny in the photo that I'm showing you right now, do they not? Around the knuckles, around the fingers, around the hand area above, right? No, he doesn't have small hands. Man-sized hands. Nothing small about them. I heard it today. Okay, I'm going to show you something else. In comparison to that photo, because that photo was him in the courtroom, right? So I'm going to show you this photo. Now look at those hands. Do they not look swollen to you? Once again, I'm not trying to spread propaganda or dispel anybody's thoughts on anything. But compared to what you just saw in the courtroom months later, does that hand not look swollen to you? Does not the top of the hand, around the thumb, around the knuckle areas, does that not look swollen to you? Wish I could make it bigger. If anybody has a bigger, better photo of this where you can actually see the whole thing, email me. That way I can show that. Because I'm trying to find a better photo and they always cut it off. Okay, here's a better one. Here's a better one. I'm going to show you this one. This is a better photo. Because I'm trying to show you the differences in the courtroom photo versus the photo at 10:30 the next morning. And I want to give you the ability to see for yourself what you think about his hands. Granted, his fingers are not spread all the way out, so it could be a definitely smaller hand looking right there. But we've already seen that once his hands are wide open, they're not small. So look at his hands. You don't see the veins in them. You don't see the skinniness of his hand. They look reddish. They look swollen. All this area looks swollen compared to what we saw of him in the courtroom, which was months later. So tell me what you see. Okay. I can dig that, Firefly. I can dig that. You know. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to apologize. When DT showed this picture, I said his hands around the knuckles are swollen. 100%. Was he left or right-handed? We have been told that he was right-handed. But if his left hand's swollen, as we just saw, that individual with the knife, with the K-bar knife, he hurt one of his hands. So that's my purpose in showing this is could he have hurt his left hand and switched hands? You know what I mean? Because we don't see his right hand. I still think you did it. No, I did not. I did not do this. I know what you meant by that. I just wanted to. I didn't do this. I believe right-handed, at least for signing documents. Punching with left. Yeah, very possible. I've seen him using his right during the hearings. Yeah, he was signing with his right hand. Hey, Jeremiah. His right hand looks swollen in the photo taken during the car stop on the way to PA also. Okay. Wait, there's a mirror, so isn't it reversed? Good point. Good point. That could be his right hand. He might be ambidextrous. Very true. That is a good point. Very good point. So if that could be his right hand. And he's showing what he's taking the selfie with his left. To me, that looks swollen. I mean, I'm no expert. But let me show you something. Okay, I'm going to take this down. It's hard to tell. His thumbs are just so awkward. Yeah. I can tell you can throw a punch with both hands, though. Yeah. See, like, you can see my hand, right? If my hands were swollen, even with the fist, you can still see. You can't see the knuckles like you can. You get what I'm saying? Still, it doesn't look like a small hand, does it? When my fingers are extended versus when my fingers are not extended. So that's away from my face. So I was just using that for demonstrative purposes. Yeah, wide knuckles from pressures. No doubt. So let me show you the picture again with him in the courtroom. That way you can see a side view of his hands. I mean, it's hard to tell. It really is. It really is. I give you that. And I, in no way, am trying to say that this, what I'm showing, makes him guilty or not guilty. I'm just trying to show this for a little, to give you a little bit of example of differentiation of hand size. So there is his hand. So as you saw mine, when I made the fist, it kind of made not that much of a difference. You get what I'm saying? It didn't puff up my hand as much as you would have thought it would have. But like you are saying, it's hard to. He's really white knuckling that thumbs up. Yeah, he is. Aguda, yes, a selfie typically appears mirrored on the screen as you take it, meaning it's horizontally flipped compared to how others see you. So yeah, that could have been that could have been that could have been his right hand. Yeah. So that's another thing that I wanted to talk about because that has been brought up as far as he not being able to be that violent because he had small hands. I know that thumb looks swollen to me. I don't know about y'all. I wish I could zoom it in. If y'all have a picture, Jeff, Nina, any of y'all in the chat, they have the picture of him just being against the mirror. You can email it to me. That way I can zoom in on that. Because I can't zoom in on that photo. Because it's already in a newspaper form. I should have a picture of that damn photo because I use it enough in ChatGPT to make those memes. Let me look for it for a second. I can put up something so y'all don't leave. In some photos, it looks like his hands are very red, so it makes me wonder if his circulation issues or maybe OCD hand washing. But if a selfie appears mirrored, but you take it in a mirror, wouldn't it show up as not reversed? I don't know. He has a blister on his thumb. Where at, Jeremiah? The tip? Is it around the area like that guy hurt his hand? I would believe that if he was gripping that knife really hard like that, it would have put a cut on the inside of his hand. So I'm still looking for that photo. So y'all hang in there. I have so much stuff on this. My researchers ran off. The people that usually send me stuff. Nina and Jeff. They really are the IT people. They really are. I don't mind presenting it, but they're the ones that they show me exactly what they find. And I appreciate that in so many ways. I never showed this photo. I'll show you this one. Hoping it don't offend anybody. I was gonna make this into a meme, but I thought, well, you've done enough for one day. It says Facebook Department of Corrections. And it has the Joker and BK in the back. People get triggered by stuff like that because somebody was going after me. I don't think he's taking the picture in the mirror. Hey, this is my killing thumb. I don't think he's taking it in the mirror though. I think he was like showing it in the mirror, right? I don't know. We're on to something. We're on to something. Y'all Y'all hang in there. Jeremiah, if you have that photo, if you'd email it to me, that'd be awesome. Thank you. I appreciate all you guys and gals in here tonight for this afternoon. See, Jeff and I were playing around one day on the internet, and I don't know if I've showed y'all this, but I'm going to show it. This is our house musician, Jeff H. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about Jeff H, the guitarist? Yeah, I have so much crap in here. It's just ridiculous. I got to go through and delete about a lot of this because it's taking up so much image. And Nina sent me this, and I posted it, but I didn't get a lot of responses. I want you to tell me what you think about this. Do you think this is BK early on posting on YouTube about his visual snow? Let me know what you think. I mean, because we don't know if he has tattoos or not. This person indeed does have a tattoo, but could this be young BK?
Visual snow community, the online visual snow community that exists because everyone needed to find out more information after being
No.
through all kinds of doctors. Everyone
Okay.
has been terrified of
Okay.
their symptom and gone to see psychologists after going to see neurologists, after going to see ophthalmologists who said,
She had sent me that, so I didn't know if y'all could see if that was him or not. We have a lot of nose. So look at the nose. No. Okay. Okay. And that's how we get to unity, you know? That's how we talk about stuff. It's like, okay, we're going to show it. We're going to let the chat decide. That way you guys have the last say. Rather than I up here telling you what to say, you're actually showing me what you believe and what you think. You know what I mean? I believe in that, you know, and I think that's thank you, Jeremiah, for that. Thank you so much, buddy. All right. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that. Let me show this. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate y'all's feedback. I mean, that's how things work. That's how things work in this chat. You know what I mean? I don't get up here and tell you what to say or what I believe is when I want you guys to have a voice. You know what I mean? You're here to have a voice. And we don't always have to agree, right? So here, Jeremiah sent me this. And once again, I appreciate the individual to show me this stuff. There's his hand blown up. There's the blister that he was telling me about. Could that have been caused by the handle on that K-bar? Because you know what? That guy hurt his hand. He was showing you the area where he hurt his hand. And that could have been done by that. I'm not saying that it was done by that. What do y'all think? What do you think, chat? Do you think that the K-bar could have caused that injury on that thumb? Yes or no? That does look blistery. It's a possibility. Okay. See, I enjoy doing it like this a lot more than me telling you exactly what it is. Because this is 10:30 the next morning. Okay? Yes, blistered. It's a possibility. Blister or a hip bruise. Kind of looks that way. That was such a good find. It was a good find. I mean, if that's him, if it turns out to be him in the future, then Nina found it. You know, important to remember that boxers are trained to work with both hands interchangeably. You're right, Envision. I sent a regular pic. Okay, thank you. I will look at that after we get through this. But I just think that picture is too pixelated to really be able to make out anything. That's that's possible. When you grip a knife, your thumb would be over your index finger. Okay. I don't think so if he is right handed and had gloves on. Okay. I appreciate y'all's feedback. I really do. I really do. Because it gives you the opportunity to make up your own mind, not what I'm telling you to think. You know what I mean? Because you don't get on here to just hear what I have to think. You have your own mind to think what you believe. I mean, and we meet in the middle, whether we agree or not. I mean, that is what it is, you know. And here's another pic of the full mirrored picture. I really appreciate this, Jeremiah. That's pretty awesome that you have the whole thing. Because it would be interesting if it's this is obviously a towel holder right here. So it'd be interesting if the shower was indeed on this side and it was inverted, because that would be his right hand right here. But I don't know. It's something to look at. If y'all find evidence of that's how it is, then y'all let me know and send it to my email. And we'll look at it on the next Idaho um live that we do. This guy's a damn fool, but he's damn fool enough to take a picture of his injured thumb. Good point. Good point. Even if you have gloves on and you grip something super tight, you can get a skin irritation like chafing. Want to BK social media follow this product site for Goof. Yeah, remember that. Goof grip tape for knife handles, and they sell full head beanies and eye holes. Okay. I remember that Goof grip tape. I do. Is that a flash of the phone and the curtain rod? Oh, good eyeballs. The other guy hurt himself on the butt plate too, so it's possible. Yeah, or just the light. I mean, that's why we have discussions like this, because nobody really has the upper hand in this chat. We're all one. You know what I mean? Right here is where they're asking: is that a flash on the light on the shower curtain rod? It's a possibility. That's good lighting, I think. I mean, I thought that when I saw this photo, I was like, damn, that's some good lighting he has in there. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's some damn good lighting. Boxers also wrap their hands before gloving. I wonder if he did. Great point. Great point. And if he did wrap them, that would eliminate some of the bruising. You're right. Reflection from light. Yeah. Or light reflecting from the light above. It could be any of those. You're right. I sent one last pic. All right, thank you, Jeremiah. I'll look. I think if it was good lighting, there would be better resolution on that photo. But I mean, I was thinking just a basic photo, compared to sometimes people get some bad lighting and you can't tell what the hell the photo is showing. This is obviously showing, a very good shot of the color of the shirt. It looks like a silky shirt. It doesn't look like like a matte type shirt. It looks silky. But in my opinion, and I could be wrong, this hand does look swollen in my opinion. And once again, we don't have to agree. We can disagree and still be friends and still have a good time. This is a great picture. Let me show you all this. This is a great picture, guys. So if he was to have his hand around the K-bar, that's what it might look like. Just picture the K-bar in this hand inverted. So these would be like that. So you would have your thumb at the top, like that guy did. He had his whole hand around it and kind of like gripping where the circular part is. He had his thumb around that area. Tom, where are you at? How would you hold this knife? I like how he wavered between being Michael Carbajal and a feeble old lady as a boxer. Which is it? Exactly. He won't have a good of fights anymore on a cell phone either. Yeah. Great points, Walt. That's exactly where I get blister when using the hand towel in the garden. Trowel, not towel. Trowel. Little both. Looks swollen to me. Depends how I was stabbing. Okay. So where would you put the thumb though if you were gripping it kind of like that individual had it? Let's say you were thrusting the knife. Where would you put the thumb? Would it go toward the two spacers down here at the bottom? Or would it be more on this side? Because obviously your hand's going to be in front of these two spacers. So your hand's going to be in front of these two spacers. I'm just asking where you would put your thumb in that regard. You stab down. Okay. We used underhand. Okay. So the thumb would be closer to the spacers. We pushed down on the hand guard so it prevented slippage. Okay, so the thumb would be on the other side. The butt plate is there so your hand doesn't slip. Okay, that makes sense. So if his hand was holding this K-bar, it would obviously be the blade up. The handle, the little area right here, would be down at the bottom. So the two little things would be right here, these two spacers, right? So if he was thrusting, it very possible it could have injured this area. Very possible. It's a combat knife. You're right. I think if your hand slipped past the hilt, the part that would get cut would be under your little pinky. Okay. My thumb would go over my index finger. Okay. Well, let me check that video again. Hope I did that quick enough that I didn't dox you, Jeremiah. Okay. There he is holding it sideways, so we're able to see. Not that I don't trust y'all judgment. I want to do this for a visual because a lot of people can't visualize what we're talking about. So as you said, Tom, your thumb would go over your index finger, and that's right. The pinky would be toward the bottom. So these are the spacers. These are the spacers right here. So if your hand did slip, as we're saying, would it have injured this area of his thumb with these spacers? Yeah. Yeah, trained us different ways to use it. So that's what I'm asking. Would the spacers have the culpability to injure that part of the thumb as what we saw, that blister area? Could his hand have slipped and possibly injured that thumb by one of these spacers? Probably this one. Or would it have stopped him from, because as he has it, let me take this off. Because I've seen videos where they say it's more feasible if I had a K-bar and I was holding it like that. This is where the spacers would be. And I'm thrusting it and turning it and pulling it back out. That's mostly how people do it. And they slash from side to side. It said most of the time people do not use the ice pick formation, which the knife would be down here and the spacers would be down here. Most of the time people don't use the knife pick. They use where the blade is out and the spacers are right next to where that guy's thumb is, and you're turning, and then you're turning to pull it out. Is that not true? Yeah, so you thrust in, you turn, you pull out. Okay. So let me get back to show a little bit of this video again for individuals that weren't in here from the very beginning, because this is a very good video.
The original one. Brand new.
So look at how that liquid is just flowing out. I'm not trying to say that liquid is the same as blood, because it's really not. It's almost the same consistency. I'm not a medical backgrounded person, but if we have any medical people in here, would blood be flowing as easily as the water is out of this container? Y'all kind of let me know, because I would like your understanding on this. You would use the ice pick motion or individuals laying down in the bed. Yes, indeed. You would not use the stabbing motion for them in the bed. You're right. But I read that more often than not, the ice pick isn't used unless it is in that variation. You don't stab somebody face to face with the ice pick motion. You use the kind of thrust, like you're punching almost, and then pull out, twist and pull out. So any nursing people or medical people, or Tom, even if you know, would blood be flowing out of somebody if you were stabbing them or slicing them like this individual is slicing this container? Most viscosity with blood, like between water and oil. Okay, thank you for that. See, this is how we learn. And you know, we don't assume that the creator has all the answers, because I really don't. I could know what I'm talking about, but I'd rather hear it from you guys, because then we're all in unison, or we're all trying to find common ground. All I know is I don't want to be hit with that tip, the serrated edge, or any of that damn blade. I don't care who's holding it. You know, I don't want to accidentally cut myself if I'm sawing through something with a K-bar. I don't want anything to do with a K-bar. And these 4 individuals that were murdered, supposedly were murdered with a K-bar knife. Let's say their names again: Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan. So look at this individual with this knife and the devastation that it is doing. I don't know how people get that variation that this knife could not have done the damage that it did. That it had to be something else. That it had to be different weapon. That it had to be a machete. That it had to be this or that or the other. This is clearly showing you it's very capable. And as he put up there, made in the USA. So this is tough. Steel made from the USA. You know what I mean? This is something that is used by our military to destroy, not to maim, but to destroy. And this is a minute and 42 seconds in. And look at all the damage that it has done to these materials. So you're telling me that it couldn't have cut through 2 people in a minute and 42 seconds? Stabbed through their skin, through their organ, through their muscles, through their bones, and done the damage that it did. Get out of here. Get out of here with that mess. It is not breaking. It is not bending. It is not dulling. It is not any of that. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. If you believe that, handcuff your arm to that board right there and let him do that to your arm. Let's see how long it takes for you to bleed out. Let's see how long it takes before he breaks your bones. Saws into your bones. Get out of here with that madness.
Yeah, and now we're performing the tip test. Tip is straight. We will see.
Well, give Jeff 8 the credit. I mean, y'all go like one of his videos or something for his ability to send this to me, because I can't take the credit for this video. He sent it to me, and he's the one that, I'm just showing it. But thank you for that. Y'all go give Jeff a like on one of his videos, or subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And the front of this video was done by Nina, warning label Nina. Y'all go give her some likes. Subscribe to her channel if you haven't already subscribed. Those two have supplied the visuals that I'm giving today. I'm just giving the commentary.
Well, when you stab this rod, these two metal.
I've known some tough men in my day. I've known some tough ass individuals. I don't know very many that could survive any of this. Any of this. Whether one-on-one expecting it, damn well if they're asleep. If they're asleep, do you see how quick that knife cut through everything? It's not going to be anything to cut through your carotid artery and disable you. As I've shown in other videos, it takes probably seconds before you bleed out, you lose consciousness, and it's over with. You're gone. And he carved in Ethan's leg, supposedly.
Tomo, you heard too much.
So if he did this, what this individual doing to this wood, if he did this to Ethan's legs, think about how vicious that was.
There's some wear and tear on the handle, and this is really annoying.
He's carving into this wood. Think about this being somebody's leg.
Okay.
And he's just enjoying it. He's just enjoying it. Think of that being Ethan's leg right there. He's carving into. And you want to make light of these murders? You want to make light of this individual potentially murdering people with this K-bar knife. Get the hell out of here with that. Look at that viciousness. I'm not over dramatizing this. You are watching this for yourself. You can't tell me if this was somebody's leg that was being carved into like this, it would be no big deal. Why didn't he defend his girlfriend? Because he was dead. And this man was carving into his legs. How is he going to defend his girlfriend? Tell me that. How is he going to defend his girlfriend? As this man is carving into his legs like this. You tell me you're going to be able to get up and go defend your girl? Get out of here with that.
Yeah, still stay.
I've shown this already, so I don't want to show the rest of it. If you guys have already seen it, I've done a lot of demonstration today to not debunk anything, but just to show you the reality of facts versus fiction. And this is facts. You can't tell me that knife carving on that wood would not do more damage on human skin, muscle, bone, where you would be incapacitated because your nerves would be cut. Your nerves would be cut. There's no way you could stand up. No way whatsoever. No way. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, we have to agree to disagree. If we don't agree, that's fine. Part of being an adult is not getting in these chats and calling names. Not one person has called a name, even if they don't disagree with the other person. They've been able to conversate. And we've been able to have substantial amount of people stay in this chat, even if they're not in here, they're watching, without the ability to have to say that we're stupid or we're dumb or there's no way that this could be done. You know what I mean? Because it can be done. It was done. November 13, 2022. An individual mutilated and murdered Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan. One more thing. I've heard this countless times, and it's victim shaming in my eyes, but, you know, people don't see it that way. Do you think Dylan would have been able to do all this? Cleaned herself up, got rid of the knife, cleaned up the mess, or not cleaned up the mess, left an imprint on the chair, and just went down to Bethany's room and just stayed there the rest of the night and acted like she didn't know what was happening the next morning? No, it's not possible. That sells tickets to the circus. That sells tickets to the movies. But this isn't a movie. This isn't a TV show. This is real life that we're talking about. 4 people were murdered. Never forget that. And there was 2 victims in that house that could have potentially been murdered. So the fact that many people don't say that they were victims, they escaped with their lives. Whether you believe it or whether you don't, that's on you. That's on you. But I hope that you've enjoyed some of the examples that I've given tonight with the assistance of Nina and Jeff for the visuals and the photos, and CJ for his video that you can possibly see on his page. If you enjoy his content, go give him a like. Go give him a subscription. I'm not above naming people that have at one point given great visuals, great information. I might not agree with their total narrative, but you know what? Doesn't make us enemies. But there's a difference between getting on these panels and calling these people names and derogatory remarks that are made from the surviving roommates who are victims, you know, and sitting here and saying that there was a possibility that they could have been involved. Well, make it make sense. Go from step A to step B from 40 whatever time. Who was driving that vehicle? Because we've seen a vehicle. We've seen a vehicle circling the neighborhood. Tell me who was driving that vehicle and give me your receipts. Don't just give me thoughts that this is what you've heard. Give me receipts. If you say that you must place Brian in that vehicle, well, tell me how you place Emma in that vehicle. How do you place the DoorDash driver in the house? How do you place the DoorDash driver in the Elantra? How do you do all this stuff? If you're telling me that I must give receipts on placing Brian in that vehicle, then you do the same thing when it comes to naming these other people that you place in all these other vehicles and all these other locations without your maps and your theories and your this is interesting and this and that. Give a definitive way on how it really makes sense rather than just a glamorized vision of your insanity. Because that's what it is. It's getting pretty insane out there. And I'm telling you, and you're not hearing me, but there's going to be some lawsuits in the future. And all they have is your videos for defamation purposes. And many of you have gone above and beyond that. So every guest that you have on your panel that you allow to defame the victims that are living, I'd hate to be in your shoes. I'd hate to be in your shoes. So DM set Brian up for leaving a knife sheath with his DNA on it while driving around a white Honda Elantra using his phone. Exactly. That is insane. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. So that is insane. That's insane. So be mindful of what you put out here because nothing goes without consequence, especially if you're so anti-law that you believe that you can say anything and do anything that you want to do on these YouTube streets without consequence. I hate to be in y'all's shoes when the trial is over because all you've done is defame the family, the surviving roommates, everybody involved from A to Z in that town. And watch how quickly people start deleting their videos. But do you really think there's a way that the feds cannot retrieve your deleted stuff? Just because you think that they can't get into Brian's stuff like that doesn't mean that they aren't able to get into your stuff as well. But you don't take my word for it. Hope it doesn't happen, but it isn't without recourse. And all you other people that go right along with them, try to remember, nobody's above the law. Nobody is. So if you're in these chats or you're in these comments and you're defaming the victims or the surviving victims or the family or you're doing all this stuff, you're just as guilty as the creator who's pushing the narrative. Try to remember that. Try to remember that. You don't want to believe me, that's fine. I've worked with law enforcement agencies for 20 plus years, and I do understand how they work. You can take your myths and you can take your beliefs. I hope you're making your money because you're going to need it when they put you in jail for defamation. You're going to need bail, GoFundMes or whatever. You know? YouTube keeps everything you upload, even if you delete it. Exactly. It's only a matter of time before these families get together and do something about their harassment. And I'm so here for it. Me too. Me too. Another great live from 12 Gauge. Thank you so much. Facts. So you let people know that this is the channel where we actually discuss certain things, show certain things, and there's a ton of videos in my library that if I'm not on, y'all can definitely go back and watch them because there's a lot more information in those than anything that I've showed tonight. And my stance has not varied very far from the middle because I've tried to stay consistent. Earlier on those videos, I was kind of in the beginning stages of my criminal justice degree, but I'm at the end of it now. And I've learned so much throughout my journey. And that's the reason I started a channel, for no other reason than that. So these people that claim that they know me and what I'm about, they have no freaking clue what I'm about. And they could never touch the air in which I breathe, no matter how tough they try to be. They can't do it. All they can do is huff and puff and try to blow people's houses down. But how can you do that if you have your own issues that you haven't even dealt with? You know what I'm saying? Y'all be mindful of yourselves, treat your loved ones with respect, and try to not take one moment for granted in this life that we live. Because just like these four that were living their best life, and one night they got their lives taken from them from a coward who used an ambush tactic to viciously murder Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. Never forget their names and always stand up for what's right. If you're in these other chats and you hear people downing them or talking about them, you have the capability to know facts from fiction and stand up for these victims, man. They deserve it. There's plenty of people that talk bad about them. These victims deserve to have a voice long after they've been gone for almost 2.5 years. They deserve a voice. Stand up for them. Y'all have a wonderful night and have an awesome week. Y'all have an awesome week. And like I always say, Maestro, cue that music. And those people that sent me documents and the emails, thank you so much. Jeremiah, I'm glad to see you back in the chat, buddy. Y'all have a wonderful night. Till next time.